Welcome to the Smart Dad Podcast, where we help you lead well at home, in business, and in life. I'm your host, Derek Moore. Smart dads are intentional, engaged, and ever learning. Whether you're a seasoned dad who's been through it all, a new dad still figuring it out, a supported dad with a great woman at your side, or a solo dad carrying the load alone, this podcast is for you. No matter your background, your challenges, or your goals, fatherhood is a journey of growth, and we're here to do it together. Each week, I'll share insights that I've garnered throughout my life of raising kids, building businesses, and leading others. I'll definitely share some failures, some successes, and I'll even be able to show you tools and strategies that you can use to become a smart dad in your own life.
I can still picture it. A tiny ice cream parlor, a single scoop of chocolate ice cream, and my 3-year-old daughter's messy grin. She was a pretty good eater, but at 3 years old, it's hard not to have chocolate ice cream all over her face. Then she dragged me outside. She said, "I want to play hide and seek." And so up and down the little covered walkway in front of the strip center, around the poles, we ran back and forth behind the plants, behind the pots. And I just thought, man, this is what being a girl dad is all about. That was a long time ago. Back then, I had no idea how much deeper and harder it would get. I'm Derek Moore, the father of 10 daughters, ages 1 to 29. I've got 5 sons as well. Right now, I'm raising my last 6 daughters and my youngest son at home. But with my son gone about 70% of the time for his activities and his life's pace, it's mostly an all-girl house. My 4 youngest, all 8 years old and under, love to color, to play dress-up, to write stories and tell stories and invent fantasy worlds. They're full of love and patience while they catch bugs and take care of the pets. It's so different than when I was raising my first 2 and 4 girls. And I've got a couple of big girls at home, right at the teenage years and a teenager. And they kind of spar with each other a little bit for excellence, but they rarely need dad's nudge to refocus. They've had a lot of positive peer pressure from their oldest sisters. My 4 older daughters, man, they set the tone. They showed service. They showed gentleness. They made their own paths. Some of them are now distant, but that's okay. Today kicks off a 3-part mini-series. Part 1, we're going to talk about being a dad of daughters. Part 2, we're going to talk about being a dad of sons. In part 3, we're going to talk about raising kids in a mixed sex home. To me, raising daughters uniquely means a couple of things. I want to protect their hearts. I want to celebrate their gifts. I want to affirm their God-given worth. And I want to build courage in each of them to live out their faith in whatever they do. It's going to be messy, but it's sacred work shaped by my nearly 30 years of fatherhood. And I've picked up some wisdom from folks like Jordan Peterson and Meg Meeker. So it's a faith dive that makes this cake more than one layer of faith. It's literally the ingredient in everything we do. So I have had some successes. Let me tell you, my 10 daughters are growing up in waves. My actual firstborn is a millennial. She had her own path, firstborn female. Then I had a second one. She had an older brother between her and the firstborn and a younger brother. So for years I had a 50-50 household, boys and girls. And I tell you what, that is quite an adventure trying to raise girls just around boys that are all boy. We'll get to that in a later episode. The next two girls came back to back within a couple years of each other. In fact, less than 2 years from each other. And they were inseparable, the A team. The fifth and sixth daughters also came back to back. But you know what? I can clearly see the break between my Gen Z and my Gen A. These girls are different. They're wired differently. They look different. They walk different. They talk different. They have some of the same friends, but they are for sure making their own path. And the youngest four, back to back to back to back girls. All girls, 4 in a row. They were all born in under 7 years. They have softened me. They have softened our home. They've all been homeschooled almost completely. They've been almost media free. We have one big TV we can put on when we want to watch some Daniel Tiger or some Wild Kratts, or we want to watch a Disney movie or a musical. But with 10 daughters strewn across almost 30 years, a couple things I've picked up on. And I want to share them with you, and I want you to tell me what you think. First of all, I do want to affirm each of her God-given values. You know, my girls become teenagers, and I don't deal with the normal teenage struggles. And I don't know if it's because of the positive peer pressure, but at some point, one of them will be struggling with this or with that. And they usually talk to mom, or they talk to their sisters or their friends. But when they talk to me, I listen. And I don't have to read a Bible verse to them. But dads, I want you to remember something. Your daughter is fearfully and wonderfully made. She may be a soccer goalie like 3 of my girls have been. She may be in a theater performance like all of my girls have been. She may be singing, trying out like all of my girls have. She might be playing basketball. She might be drawing. They all have their own way, and it doesn't define them, but it can be affirmed, because strong daughters need strong fathers to stand behind them. Peterson says, stand behind her. Meg Meekers says, affirm her daily value, no matter her path. Another thing I want you to know when you're raising girls, your call is to protect her against cultural pressures. Now, she does need to live in the culture, but media and scrolling, it is brutal on girls. Your job is to guard her. You might shield her for a while, but then you want to walk right into the world of consumerism and beauty standards, and you want to put your flag down and say, here's what we wear and here's why we wear it. Here's enough beauty to highlight your facial features without going over the top. Again, each one is unique. So dads, celebrate her uniqueness. I can tell you countless stories of ice cream dates, of Tex-Mex dates, of walks that I've been on, of plane rides we've been on where I've taken my daughters with me to work, 12-year-old trips anywhere in the U.S., 17-year-old trips anywhere in the world. And I can tell you, not one of my daughters has had the same path. I've seen some parallels. Broadway, theater, New York versus outdoors, mountains, nature versus books. Each one is going to be a blend of you, a blend of her mother, but all herself. I want you to know that girls might talk a lot more than you want to. You might not even want to listen that much. I'm an anomaly. I love talking. They don't always like listening. I don't mind listening. I want to talk back. So my girls don't always talk to me, but I celebrate. They want to sing. They want to show me what they can do. They want to show me their report cards. They want me to come to their soccer game, their basketball game. I celebrate their uniqueness. Dads, a couple more things. I want to challenge you to guide your daughter's media consumption. I don't know what your system is at home, but in my house, we love theater. We love live shows, live performances. We love musicals on TV, classics. We love Broadway soundtracks. We watch Hamilton. We listen to the words and learn all of them. We watch Hairspray. We watch Frozen. We watch Moana. We watch Wicked. Whatever the presentation. And I just ask questions periodically, like, does that song sound accurate? Or sometimes, wow, doesn't that song sound so accurate? Remember, your ingredient is faith. It's not a layer. It's not a middle or a top or a foundational or you wrap it around the outside. It is in everything they do. So I like to show them, hey, this is enough TV. This is enough screen time on your phone, your iPad, your laptop. Help them pick up a book. Help them pick up a pencil. Help them go outside, pick up a ball. It's really important, dads. Girls need to be courageous. And one way to do that is for you to pour into them. Man, I may have done it too much. My firstborn was 3 and I was teaching her preschool, Sunday school classes. When the girls were in middle school and high school, I was going on the church trips as a volunteer. Did I trust the church? Yeah. But it's run by humans. Did I trust all the boys? No, because they're boys. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. So I would go. When they went on their 12-year-old trips anywhere in America, I kept them close by. When they were 17, anywhere in the world, I let them lead. My youngest 4, they're so gentle, but I see them taking care of pets, feeding, sit, stay, changing out the water for the turtle. Their little prayers before they turn 2, they echo the focus to raise bold daughters who know who they are. Jordan Peterson says, dads, your job is to educate and train. That sounds like bringing order to chaos. I take that very personally. So, 5 things. Affirm their God-given value. Protect them against cultural pressure. Celebrate each of their uniquenesses. Guide their media consumption and raise courageous daughters. If it were so easy, everybody would do it. But dads, I can tell you, man, I've screwed up a lot. I don't know why 100%, but I can tell you my first 2 girls, girl, boy, man, they bore the brunt of my early mistakes. I mean, I was a dad at 21. I was stricter. I was way more testosterone filled. I yelled more. I spanked more. I was way less patient. I was young. I didn't like failure. I didn't like disobedience. I was tough. And you know what? They knew I loved them. They heard I loved them. But maybe they questioned it more. I stayed in their worlds. I was homeschooling them. I was coaching them in T-ball. Like I said, I was maybe teaching Sunday school for this one, and I was volunteering on the church retreats in that one. We went on mission trips together. Alaska, France, Africa. But guys, dads, how you start doesn't determine where you end. You cannot control for every variable. In fact, you can't control much. So I want to challenge you, because my oldest two, they don't really want to talk to me right now. They're in their 20s. They're doing life their way. You know, their mother and I divorced, and it was hard. They felt like they had to pick sides. They questioned my love. That's all right. The next 4 girls, 3 of them will take my call and hang out with me. We'll go grab a bite to eat, a Tex-Mex, a steak, go on a walk, go to breakfast. When they have conflict, I'm able to ask them simple questions. I like to help them think. But sometimes, maybe as a dad, maybe as a man, they think I'm trying to solve their problem instead of just listen. Have you ever heard that before, guys? Don't try to solve my problem, just listen. Okay, so what I ask now is, why are you saying this? What are we going to do about this? How can I help? Is there anything you want me to do? Listening is super important. I didn't always listen when I had the first 2 or 3 girls. I was working 80 hours a week. I was trying to build a foundation for life, build a company, build a legacy. Making it up with a 30-minute or 1 hour a week ice cream or a big trip, you know, it just didn't hit well. It didn't resonate. And so, dads, the sting is still there. I think I did everything within my power. And, you know, I've got 1 in New York, 1 in Scotland, 1 in Colorado. 1 is married, 2 are not. They're all independent. Right now, they're all silent. But I'm going to wait. Can't guilt trip them. Can't leverage money over them. Wouldn't want to. I think that I've learned to prepare them to handle anything. In fact, one of them said, "Dad, I feel so prepared to be an adult." At 17, she was ready to be an adult. I said, I think you are too. But it's not my job to control their path. As Peterson says, it's your job to validate their choices. These last 6 girls, and they get an older dad. I'm not nearly as active and rolling around on the floor, but I'm a wiser dad. More questions, more listening, less yelling, no spanking. But they still have the effect of my past failures. I'm still learning. I still have some tendencies I want to overcome. So dads, when you fail, not if, but when you fail, pick yourself up, try to learn your lesson. Here's what I've taken away from trying to raise daughters. And in my circle, I want to raise godly daughters. Raise them right in the middle of church. I've got the grown daughters, and I've got 6 of them still splashing around in the pool. Couple things. 1, affirm them daily, but don't compare. I can't stand sibling rivalry. If one of my daughters hears me talking to another one, say, "Hey, I need you to sit down." And this other one says, "Daddy, I'm sitting down." Most of us would say, "Oh, good job, sweetheart." I say, "I am giving your sister correction. Are you trying to steal your sister's correction? Because I can give you corrections too." "No, sir." "Okay, let me talk to your sister." Or I give one a compliment. "Hey, great job. I love your drawing." Another one runs up. "I did a good job on my drawing too." I was complimenting your sister. Do you want to steal a compliment from your sister? "No, sir." "Then let me compliment your sister. I will compliment you when the time is right." No sister comparisons. I can tell you it's liberating, it's mind-boggling to realize how much we often create sibling rivalry when we think we're doing the right thing. Secondly, guys, here's what I figured out. Protect her heart by shaping inputs. limit her media, understand what she's watching on TVs and movies, foster playtime, relaxing, walking, reading, drawing, coloring. Pour truth into her to guard against cultural lies. If you don't know the truth, you can't share it. If you do, you can try. 3, like I said before, celebrate her gifts. Athletically, I've seen basketball, I've seen soccer, I've seen swimming, seen tennis, right? What else? We've done flag football, right? For languages, French, Spanish, Italian, American Sign Language, Greek, Latin, Arabic. I mean, these girls, they follow their own path, and we celebrate that. They are going to be their own person one day. One thing I tell them is you get your first name, that's unique to you. But we all share the last name. So some things we share, some things are uniquely yours. And I want you to guide like a river her media. Don't try to stop it or dam it up or completely withhold it. Pause your movies. Pause the songs. Weave your faith in. Weave your beliefs in. Weave your logic in when you hear the song. What did they just say on the radio? If you follow it with your heart, you can always do it. Like, what is that? Hold on. What did they say? Pause that. Is that Apple Music? Pull that up. I want to see those words. Do you believe that? No, Dad. I just like the way it sounds. All right. Because we don't believe that here. That's what I do. Take it or leave it. Also, I've talked about milestones. Build courage in them through milestones. Kids love to look forward to the next thing. When my kids turn 2, they get to go on dates with Daddy. When they turn 4, I was coaching them in soccer, basketball, t-ball. When they turn 6, they can stop taking naps. When they turn 10, they get double scoops on their ice cream. When they turn 12, they go on a daddy-daughter trip anywhere in the country. They turn 15, 16, they can start learning to drive. When they turn 17, they get a daddy-daughter trip anywhere in the world. Sprinkled into all that is volunteerism they see the siblings doing. Trying out for performances, beach church camps. So many things to deliver faith-driven boldness just on milestones alone. And finally, you're going to fail. You'll fail young, you'll fail when they're in their teens, and you'll fail when they're old. And if she drifts, if your daughter drifts, wait without manipulating. You can be angry, you can be sad, you can be frustrated. Leave the door open, no strings attached, and just trust God's going to work on her heart. So in close, dads, I'm not done. I've got 10 daughters, but I've only really raised 3. 1 is almost there. 6, they're still in the house for 4 more years plus. They need a daddy. Those 4 littlest ones, they've softened me up a lot. The teens and tweens, man, they are so mature. They're shooting up. They're challenging me. They're really good thinkers. The grown girls, close, silent. My job is to be the same man as I've always been. Learn from my mistakes. Be faithful. Wait and love my girls. I told you before, I want them to know they are fearfully and wonderfully made. I want my daughters to know, from ice cream dates to trips around the world and all the messy prayers in between, that their daddy loves them. In fact, my littlest girls have softened me up so much. I can't sing, but I have a little poem I wrote, and it's My Daddy Loves Me. My daddy loves me. My name is, and I say her name, my daddy loves me. I say it again. My daddy loves me. My daddy loves me. My name is Princess, and my daddy loves me. That little jingle, I kind of hummed it on a cruise. I recorded it for my little one when she was 2. And I sing that to them at night. And I can't sing. But you know what? I can for my girls. So they might soften you up. Take it. Run with it. I've got a challenge for you this week. If you have a 2-year-old, a 22-year-old, or a 42-year-old, offer to take her out. If it's ice cream, if it's Tex-Mex, if it's a steak. If she's young enough and you can do it, go play hide and seek. Or play tic-tac-toe. Or solve a Sudoku together. Or do something in her space. Maybe send a text. Just a kind, I love you. I was thinking about you today. Can't wait to see you again. This is part 1 of our little mini-series. Next week, we'll tackle raising sons. And then following that, we're going to balance having both boys and girls at home. Thanks for listening. Go out and be a smart dad. And we can do it together. Let's do this.
Thank you for joining us on the Smart Dad Podcast. Be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. For resources, links, and more, check out the show notes. Also, if you like what you heard today, please leave us a 5-star review so other dads can find the podcast and be the dad they are meant to be. Now go out and be a smart dad today.